I stand here humbled, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
Night 3 of the Republican National Convention was all about introducing Senator J.D. Vance as the vice presidential nominee.
J.D. Vance is going to make one hell of a vice president.
What could I say that hasn't already been said before? After all, the man was already the subject of a Ron Howard movie.
His wife, Yusha Vance, she really spoke about the person that she knows, spoke about him as a father, that his values that he has, the work ethic that he would bring to the job.
It's safe to say that neither JD nor I expected to find ourselves in this position. But it's hard to imagine a more powerful example of the American dream. A boy from Middletown, Ohio.
He concluded the night with a pretty lengthy speech that really tried to frame out the argument that you're going to see him make over the next couple months on the campaign trail.
I grew up in Middletown, Ohio. A small town where people spoke their minds, built with their hands, and loved their God, their family, their community, and their country with their whole hearts. But it was also a place that had been cast aside and forgotten by America's ruling class in Washington.
He spoke at length about his grandmother who helped raise him.
She was a woman of very deep Christian faith. But she also loved the F word. I'm not kidding. And when we went through her things, we found 19 loaded handguns. They were... The thing is, they were stashed all over her house, under her bed, in her closet, in the silverware drawer. And we wondered what was going on, and it occurred to us that towards the end of her life, Mamaw couldn't get around so well. And so this frail old woman made sure that no matter where she was within arm's length of whatever she needed to protect her family. That's who we fight for. That's American spirit.
But he also gave a really personal tribute to his mother, who was in the audience.
Our movement is about single moms like mine, who struggled with money and addiction, but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here, 10 years clean and sober. I love you, Mom.
You saw her sitting up with Trump and his family and some other key elected officials in a box, and she looked very tearful, and you said to someone next to her, "That's my boy." Some of the policy points he hit on, obviously one was drug addiction and how that has impacted communities like the one he came from.
Now, thanks to these policies that Biden and other out-of-touch politicians in Washington gave us, our country was flooded with cheap Chinese goods, with cheap foreign labor, and in the decades to come, deadly Chinese fentanyl. Joe Biden screwed up, and my community paid the price.
And I think you're going to hear a lot about this from him. He's arguing that these communities have really struggled with job loss, with drug addiction, and that Democratic policies have not helped them. This is important, I think, because what we're seeing is that this race is really likely to play out in 3 key states, and that's Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And Vance is from Ohio, he's from the Midwest, and he made really clear in this speech that those kinds of places and small towns in those states are places that he is going to be attentive to.
To the people of Middletown, Ohio, and all the forgotten communities in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and every corner of our nation, I promise you this: I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
President Biden has also really tried to connect with working class Americans. He has been very supportive of unions, labor unions, and of creating jobs in the U.S. and bringing manufacturing back to the U.S.
We're better positioned than any country in the world to own the remainder of the 21st century because of union labor.
J.D. Vance is clearly trying to appeal to some of the same people with his rhetoric about communities that have been left behind and what he says the Trump-Vance ticket can do for them.
Together, We will protect the wages of American workers and stop the Chinese Communist Party from building their middle class on the backs of American citizens.
Also, this is a campaign that has focused so much on age, with two older candidates, but especially on the president, who is 81. Vance emphasized that tonight. He spoke about Biden's age and really tried to make the contrast. He's only 39. He really represents a sort of next generation of Republican politicians.
Now, Joe Biden has been a politician in Washington for longer than I've been alive, 39 years old. Kamala Harris is not much further behind.
I thought it was really interesting that as he finished his remarks, the song they played as his family came out on the stage was Fleetwood Mac's Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow, which was the song that President Bill Clinton used during his first campaign. And of course, Bill Clinton, in a lot of ways, was similar to J.D. Vance, someone who was really self-made, came from a small town, and was appealing in lots of ways to the same voters. I think what was really clear from the speech tonight is that J.D. Vance is very supportive of President Trump and his policies.
He is our once and future President of the United States of America.
And I think will be a real partner with him in enacting the kind of agenda that Trump says he wants to carry forward.